Welcome back, guys, to the Whiskey Explorer. I have Brad, the fish back.
Right.
Here he is. He has actually been through a little bit of a sad dry spell in his whiskey journey, just due to the chaos of my daily job and not kind of getting together for as many of these reviews as we'd like. So he is back today, and we have got something very special for you guys on the cask. Tonight we have got J.P. Wiser's Legacy. That's right, guys, the J.P. Wiser's Legacy. I'm going to bring that on in here for you guys to have a view of the bottle. This one right here, you cannot find this bottle anymore. So that's why it's kind of exclusive to us here at the Whiskey Explorer. So we're going to get into this, we're going to taste it, we're going to nose it, we're going to let you guys know a little bit about the color, a little bit about the very little that I know about the bottle, and then we'll get to the good part, the tasting of the whiskey. We are going to compare it. We're going to put it head to head against this Wiser's offering, which is a commemorative series from 2018, and we'll see how those ones compare. Alright guys, so without further ado, let's get into the uncorking of the Wiser's Legacy. So, Legacy is a product that J.P. Wiser's made starting probably about in 2011 and discontinued already in 2018. So it's not actually a bottle that you can find out there on the shelves very often anymore. Here's the thing. That was something that people kind of really missed in the Wiser's lineup, but there's just no real way of getting it back. So if you guys search out some other whiskey tubers named Trenny and C, they are awesome, and they will actually give you guys a video in which they have the master distiller from Wiser's, Dr. Don Livermore, and he will come on to the video and teach you guys how to make a poor man's Legacy.
So Jeff, what's the price point on this?
So this would be a $50 bottle. So okay. 50 bucks Canadian on this one. So very similar to the price point on the...
Provided you can even find this now.
Provided you can find this. And a couple places where you could still find this would be Alberta and Ontario. You'll find in some dusty back shelf of a mom and pop liquor store, or maybe some of the major chains in Alberta, people have been able to find the Wiser's Legacy. Okay. But here in BC, I haven't seen it in at least a year. So I haven't been able to buy this. So luckily my brother is in Calgary, and he was able to find a bottle and snapped it up for me and sent it with my other brother when he came to visit. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good score for us for sure. And this one right here, this 2018 Canada edition of J.P. Wiser's, this commemorative edition, this is right around that same price point. So you can actually still find this at a couple liquor stores in Victoria, at the BC liquor store, and this one here goes for right around the same price point, 50 bucks, right? I got it on sale when I got it.
And is a Legacy, would you consider an upgrade from this one?
No, not necessarily. So I think this one, what you're going to find in the Legacy is it's maybe a higher rye in the blend, a higher amount of rye. So people really who like rye whiskey and like Canadian rye whiskey, they're going to love the Legacy. I think this one's going to be excellent, and it'll be really fun to put it head to head against this one to see how those two compare.
And we've also had another special edition Wiser's before, have we not?
You're absolutely right. We had the Union 52.
Okay, that's what it was.
Ooh, the Union 52, the legend.
If I could get my hands on a bottle of that.
Guys, if you ever see a bottle of Union 52, snap it up. That's a bottle where I would be happy to pay secondary prices for because you just can't find it. And that's a bottle that's a blend of Wiser's whiskey with about 4% of a 52-year-old single malt Scotch. I'll tell you guys this, you can taste that Scotch in there. So we're looking forward to seeing what's in this one here tonight.
Absolutely.
Let's get into this one here. So there is a nice kind of perforated plastic opening here. Ah, there we go. Got it. So just pull that tab down a little bit, and we'll get a nice uncorking here for you guys as well. So what we'll do with this whiskey is, obviously you never kind of want to judge a whiskey too hard on a neck pour, right? So you guys have probably heard that before, and what that means is when you first open up a whiskey, what you're going to have is you're going to have not quite as much oxidization in the whiskey because it's brand new. It's been opened for the first time. So what you don't want to do is judge a whiskey too harshly by your very first pours. But since we kind of had a special bottle here, we wanted to do an uncorking for you guys. We're going to give you guys our first impressions. We might even come back and do a re-review on this when it's had some more time to interact with the air and it's had a little more oxidization and the bottle goes down a little more as well. So, without further ado, I think we should pop this one and get into it.
I think we should too.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Alright guys, so we'll get get it nice up close to the microphone there, get a nice cork pop for you guys, hopefully. Here we go. Oh, yes.
Now,
like
one thing
that.
I gotta say, well, I can almost speak for the first mate if she was here for this one. She would like this bottle.
I think she would.
I think she would like the logo. I think it'd be good. I sure do.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool bottle. I think the logo is really well done.
Yeah, but I think it would make an awesome infinity bottle for bourbon or whiskey or whatever you want to start. So that was my plan for this other one here. So both good choices for infinity bottles, I think. So good cork.
Not much on the cork, a little bit, but not much on the cork.
Okay, yeah. I can already smell this one from here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hard to pick up very much from the cork. I get a little bit of kind of sweetness, a little bit of sweet oak. Maybe a little bit of maple and butterscotch, but it's very, very subtle. Yeah. So, let's get this into a couple of glasses and we'll give it a try. So, at the Whiskey Explorer, we always pour the healthy drams for our guests. This is your old glass or new glass?
Yeah.
Old glass? Okay. So we already.
I had an old glass. I had to have a little bit of whiskey before.
That's right. He's gotta get his palate activated.
Yeah.
We always do the healthy pours there. Some nice
that's
blood.
a nice healthy pour.
All right. So I will pour myself a little dram as well.
Oh, that's a healthy dram.
That's the Whiskey Explorer always pours the healthy drams.
That's right.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we'll go in for a nosing, and we'll give you guys some impressions on that. Just tell you guys what we're finding on the nose, and we'll go in and have a look at some of the color and viscosity. Then we'll do a tasting for you guys and tell you what we pick up on the palate and what we experience on the finish. So without further ado, let's go in for a little bit of a nosedive here. And one little pro tip for you guys, if you're doing nosings, if you keep your mouth slightly open, that will kind of allow the circulation of air to go through a little bit better, and you'll get a better nosing as well. And then always, when you're doing a nosing, you can always rotate the glass a little bit to get a full kind of coating on there of the glass, so you can get a really nice nosing of the whiskey as well. Because that whole smell and that whole nosing experience, that's part of the whole whiskey experience too, right? So always a good idea to try that out as well.
So for me, on my nose, I'm getting a little bit of sweet. I'm getting plum though.
Plum. Nice. So some like rich dark fruit.
Yeah, like it's subtle, but definitely a dark like plum, like just a very specific smell to it for me.
Gotcha.
You can definitely smell. I don't know. Like I would assume it's the rye in it. Like you can definitely, for me, I get that smell right away. Like I can.
Like there's a bit of a rye kick to it.
Yeah, like it's.
And is that like spices for you or spicy?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It smells great though.
It smells fantastic. I think for me, I just recently did a live stream with Bourbon Sane, so Chris Newell from Bourbon Sane, and we did Canadian whiskies, and I sent him a sample of the Lot 40 cask strength, and that Lot 40 cask is jumping right out of this for me.
Okay.
Like, so that's really it's a 100% rye cask strength whiskey. So that's what I'm picking up on the nose. Just like Brad, I'm getting all those beautiful rye notes. So
it smells so good.
Specifically, I'm getting like the baking spices you get. I'm getting cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. There's a nice sharp kind of black pepper kick to the rye as well. There's a little bit of maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a good description. Yeah, the black pepper for sure.
There's maybe like a little bit of winter mint, like spearmint smell to the rye.
I can see that.
Like a winter kind of mint, like almost like the essence of mint, like not actual mint, but.
But it's not. To me, I don't find it super fragrant.
No.
You know, like other.
Like other whiskeys we've had.
Like where I've definitely smelled a whole lot more. This seems very.
Interesting. I do get quite a bit of flavor on the nose. I do get some caramels and butterscotches, like the classic kind of Canadian whiskey, like from the corn whiskey, the sweetness is showing up a little bit of maple syrup going on in the background, but a lot of the rye spice is coming out, like a lot of the rye kick for sure. And color-wise, guys, you're looking at a nice kind of I would say like a very light copper or maybe even a dark straw color to the whiskey here. For some reason the camera's not quite focusing like it should, but hopefully that'll give you guys a little bit better idea of the color on the whiskey there. Some nice kind of legs on that as well, so we can tell there's some good bit of proof there.
And Jeff, I know this hits you well at the 45% mark.
Absolutely.
I mean, we always like 45% or more.
Yeah.
Anything less, we feel like that kind of misses the mark. So.
Absolutely, and that's a really good comment, Brad. So this one here, bottled at 45%. I always feel that 40% leaves a little bit lacking. It's a little thin in the flavor and the taste, the body, the mouthfeel. Giving the 45% just gives those the whiskey just an extra chance to kind of show its true colors and to get more of the essence and the flavor and the richness to the whiskey. You need a little bit higher ABV. So seeing that at 45% is awesome. This other one that we had, the one we both loved, this one was at 43.4%. So that's nice to have even a little bit of a higher percentage here. So I think without further ado, we should get into this one.
I agree.
Cheers, my friend.
Cilantro.
Cheers, guys. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. What do you get on the flavor there? It's not what I expected from the nose.
It's not what I expected either. I find that it's definitely got, for me, it's definitely got a little bit of bite to it.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
I found it very smoky at the end.
Yeah, like...
Not what, I should say very smoky, but smoky.
So maybe a bit of barrel char, like from the oak?
Yeah.
I completely agree with that comment, absolutely.
I don't know, like, you can, maybe it's just as me, but, like, you can definitely taste the rye for sure.
Ooh, this one, guys, the Legacy, if you like rye and you like Canadian rye, you are going to love Legacy. So I get, for the rye spice and the rye feature to this whiskey, I get a lot of dill on the flavor, like dill pickle basically, dill flavor. Then I get that spearmint and spades, so lots of the winter mint flavor. Then I get the black pepper on the back end and the finish.
I can taste the dill part, but I'm not getting the spearmint factor, but that's just me, but... the dill for sure. That's a good description. I never.
It's for me. It's dill all day long. Like, kind of like a sweet dill almost, right? You have this sweetness, which is like the caramel and the sweet oak from the whiskey, but it's mixed in with that fairly strong dill flavor.
Yeah. For me, would I have more than 1 gram of this?
Maybe not.
Probably not.
And see, here's the deal, guys. I know this is going to disappoint some viewers out there. But the Whiskey Explorer is not a huge rye guy. So I know lots of you guys out there love your ryes. I'm not huge on the rye. I just cannot get past the dill flavor. So to me, this has a ton of the dill flavor. Then it's mixed in with the sweet oak. Some of the butterscotch and caramel flavors are there. There is some dark fruits like the plums coming out as well. So there's a lot of richness to this whiskey. Tons of layers and complexity. It's very complex. It has... black pepper on the back end, like as a spice note, but for me, that high rye content is what kind of kills it for me, because I'm just not a big rye guy. But if you love rye and you really like Canadian rye, I think you're going to love this whiskey.
I feel like, like the rye just, it punches you right in the face.
It's a huge rye punch, rye punch, like massive. This really reminded me of drinking the Lot 40 cask strength, which is bottled at 58% ABV. So that's, or I think it's maybe even a little bit above that. So this really kicks quite hard for whiskey, I think, and for Canadian whiskey. Because Canadian whiskey can typically be considered to be fairly soft.
And at 45%, to me, it tastes stronger than that.
Absolutely.
So, we had to do a little light bulb change.
Yeah, just a little light bulb change. You know how it is in the world of whiskey tubes. So we just did a little quick change, and now we got this other lamp going, and we're good to go. We're good to compare it. The J.P. Wiser's Legacy, we're going to put that head-to-head against this guy here, which is the J.P. Wiser's 2018 Commemorative Edition. And we're going to tell you guys which one we prefer and which one we go out and buy again. Alright, so let's get this into some glasses here. Let's get this show on the road.
I just finished my dram, and that was a lot of rye punched right in my face.
Yep, that's how she does. That's how she do. And this was your other one, right? From earlier?
Yeah, correct. No, that's a clean one.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, you know what I mean. Jeff and I are on the same page.
Same page, same page. Alright guys, so what we're going to do is just compare this, and I already know from having had both these whiskeys that there's a major difference between this Canada 2018 Commemorative Edition and the Wiser's Legacy. You're getting a way higher rye kick in this JP Wiser's Legacy, which is going to be the lot 40 that's in here, and not nearly as much of that going on in this blend, which is much sweeter, much more mellow, and much more kind of easy drinking, I would say.
My final thought in regards to this Legacy is, for me, Jeff, I would not buy this bottle for my shelf.
And that's fair. And that's what the whiskey journey is all about.
For myself. For people out there, like Jeff said, that love the rye punch and, you know, that rye, pick this one up.
Absolutely.
100%. The price point is good if you can find it.
Yeah.
But I would not put it on my shelf.
And I think a fan of rye is just not going to be disappointed with that bottle at all. I think they're going to be quite happy with it, actually. So, and that's as we've established, that's not really us. We're not really huge rye guys. So, there you have it. So we'll get into this one here, guys. Quick nosing for you. Wow, I mean, totally different.
Polar opposite.
Totally different whiskeys. What do you get on the nose on this one, Brad? And keep in mind, guys, we do have a review of this J.P. Wiser 2018 Commemorative Edition, and you guys can go and check that out. I'll put a link above, and you can check out the original review of that one. All three of us on the Whiskey Explorer, we had Brad the Fish, our special guest Kyle, and myself. We tried that one, and we all loved it. So. And
if you have not seen our friend Kyle drink whiskey, it is something very entertaining.
Very entertaining indeed. It's worth watching just for Kyle's reaction.
It is. We're trying to get him into drinking whiskey, and he's not a whiskey guy, so
no,
it's quite good.
To say the least.
Yeah.
So what do you get on the nose there, Brad?
I know it's gonna sound like a little to me. Like I don't know. Like I almost
do a little rotation of the glass there. Get the whiskey vapors going.
Without rotating it, I honestly felt like I got it like a banana.
Yeah. Sweet banana, right?
Yeah, like a banana.
Yeah. So I get sweet oak, some maple flavor. I totally pick up what Brad's talking about the banana. It's definitely
but like very
there.
Specific. No, but very like when you get a banana and they're not like ripe bananas, they're getting a little soft.
Mm-hmm.
Like they change.
Overripe.
Yeah, they change.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah. So. Let's get into a tasting on this here for you guys.
This smells really good.
It smells awesome.
It smells really good. I'm excited.
Cheers. Sláinte, guys.
Oh, like so smooth.
Super smooth. Yeah.
But in now having the Legacy, and I've now had this.
Mm-hmm.
I find this one to be a little weak.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much of a kick.
No, so now I got punched in the face, and now I feel like my palate's searching for that little bit of the
kick.
Like an elbow.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's funny is going between the two whiskeys, I did do a palate cleanse, and that's always a good idea. Drink some water in between the two.
I did not.
Going between these two glasses, guys, when I picked up this one, I've never got the rye kick out of this one. This was the first time. And I think that comes from having the rye kick in the Legacy. It showed up in this one too. And I had never found it in there before.
So it's almost like getting punched in the face and then you kind of got slapped.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You got it.
I really like this. This is real good.
Mm-hmm. I saw it in the BC liquor store again and I almost bought a second bottle. I liked it so much. Really good whiskey.
Really,
but,
it's
like you said, it's missing that real big punch that the other.
Like just a little bit more, just a little bit more of like a rye is here hanging out.
Absolutely, totally agree with that.
But very smooth, very little to no bite to it.
Yeah,
Got a little sweet, still a little bit smoky.
Yeah.
Just an overall great palate cleansing whiskey.
Yeah, I totally agree.
For me.
And I think this is one that you could crush in a night, no problem.
Yeah. Around the fire with the boys, for sure.
Yeah, very crushable whiskey indeed. Alright guys, well I think that kind of sums up our thoughts on the Wiser's products. We did the Legacy tonight, we compared that against the Canada 2018 Commemorative Edition, and for us, the 2018 Commemorative Edition comes out on top. This is a bottle I would replace. I would not replace the Legacy again. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a huge rye guy. For you rye fans out there, you're going to love this, but the rye really is not for me so much, so that's why I have a hard time kind of getting past that one and finding a place in my regular bar for it. Did you find the same thing for the Legacy? It's
Yeah,
one you wouldn't buy again?
No, I wouldn't. I would buy a bottle of this, and I don't like rye whiskey a whole lot. So.
Yeah, and this is probably more corn in the mash bill for this one. So until next time, guys, may your sails be full and your drams be fuller. Cheers.
Cheers.